early.
You're
Yo, what's good,
back
folks?
again, man.
Another episode of Early.
106.
Yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in.
Subscribe before we get any further.
Is it
yo.
106?
Is it? I'm
I don't
pretty
know.
sure it is.
It's either 106 or 107.
Last
'Cause I feel
episode,
like,
who did we have on? Wasn't
we
Black, was
had-
it?
Nah, Learn Lionel. I think.
Learn
was the last
Lionel,
one.
exactly. That
Wasn't
was
it? And
105.
I feel like. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Learn
I don't
Lionel
know why.
was 105.
I feel like I've heard. Oh, because we recorded last night.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I heard you say
Right,
106
that's another
before.
joint, right? No bullshit.
But even if it is, you know what I'm saying.
You know,
welcome.
it's funny. I might have
Yeah.
very well said 106 and last night.
Yeah.
To say,
Oh,
I
in the episode?
feeling like
Oh,
this is
word.
the next joint, but it's today. Nah, for real.
All right. Well,
Okay.
it is what it is. You
Facts.
know where we are,
Yeah,
man.
man,
Over
subscribe.
100.
Tell a friend.
100%. We got a dope episode today, man. A lot of stuff to go over as far as NBA
Recap
playoffs,
vibes, for
but
sure.
also definitely gonna get into Snowfall, man. It's been a whole week I've had to sit with, you know what I'm saying, the ending of that series. But first, before we get into all of that, let's talk about these playoffs, man, because this has been a super exciting playoff run, I think, thus far.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
sure.
We saw the number 1 seed in the East go down 4-1. Was it 4-1?
Yep, gentlemen.
Gentlemen's
Sweep.
sweep. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I
Playoff Jimmy, man, it's a real thing.
think playoff Jimmy is a real person, man.
He's
different from the regular season Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
right?
different.
Look, regular season Jimmy, a very good basketball
Very
player,
good
but
You know what I'm saying?
we're talking, we talking different stratosphere. The playoffs come,
Playoffs.
and when it's that ass when the moment's the brightest, that's when you have to really watch out for him,
Yeah.
and it's really dope because he's kind of like assuming the role of the villain. It's like, yo, we weren't even supposed to be here. We were in the play-in.
Yeah.
We had to fight just to even get the 8th seed. Got the first seed out the way, so we're really on some house money
type
but
vibes,
at the
yeah.
same time, it's like to the outside world it's house money, but to them, I'm sure they're like, bro, we were in
Let's
the
go.
we
It's
were
like,
in
let's
the
go.
finals a couple years ago.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
in Eastern Conference last year. It's like, yo, bro,
Yeah.
we're
Does
like
Jimmy
they
have a
must be feeling
championship?
really good about themselves. No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Man, he needs to get
But it's
himself one.
not him. Like
He's
it's
always
not-
been the
he's
guy.
truly
He's never
like,
had
bro,
support.
he did the
Never had
best he
support.
could.
Yeah, he's never really
100%.
had. He's never really had enough support to, you know what I'm saying, get over that hump. But I'm not gonna say this is the year.
Nah,
but
it's not.
He needs to
It's
get
not.
himself one.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
it'd be nice.
Um,
It'd be nice.
And you were saying the other day, like with or without one, he might be a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying?
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he is.
Yeah.
Too many moments where it actually matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of players are weighted on the times that they could have made the impact on the game, and it's not like he either like not shows up or makes less of an impact, and if we're talking about consistency throughout a career, I'm like, damn, bro, 33 years old, you arguably playing the best basketball of your life. Like,
Big facts.
it's kind of
man.
crazy. Even like players like Drew Holiday and shit that they just got up out of here. But I mean, he had a career year. This is year 14, 15 for Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man. I'm looking
People
at Jimmy.
adapting.
I'm looking at Jimmy Butler, and I'm just like, dog. Game 4, nigga dropped like what 54, 56. You know what I'm saying? The closeout game,
right
dropped
after
42, like forces overtime. I think I told you I go to sleep thinking that I'm
You
going to sleep
lost,
thinking Miami lost. You know what I'm saying? They're down like 4 with like 6 seconds left or something like that.
Right.
And I think the Bucks are going to the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
literally go to sleep like when I woke up and saw that they won in overtime, I was like, what? Like that, you know what I'm saying? And I've been watching sports for a long fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's at the point where, you know what I'm saying, comebacks don't surprise you, or I mean, maybe they do, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like you haven't seen something like that. But I woke up in complete shock when I looked at the score, bro. Like, it was one of the things I'm just like, that's crazy. And I wish I would have stayed up and like actually watched that play out, because I didn't see that coming. But that's just a testament to Miami and Jimmy Butler, like you said, man. Like,
next round, I'm trying to tell you, that's Knicks and
that Knicks Heat series is going to be something crazy.
That's a fire matchup. That's a very fire
Speaking of, it looked like Atlanta was going to do it last night too. You know what I'm saying?
But
it looked
it's
like
it,
it,
right.
yeah.
It definitely did. But I mean, Celtics did what they were supposed to do.
You know what I'm saying? And Jason Tatum said last night, he was like, I would apologize to Janet Jackson because we were supposed to close it out at game 6 or game 4 or game 5 or something like that.
Scheduled for the same time.
So and it's funny that they did that because what did they actually think they were going to close it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the actual methodology behind all of that? But
everybody balled out.
If we go back to that game in Boston, I'm looking at Trae Young in the same way I'm looking at Jimmy Butler. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you're a real animal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a real animal when you need to.
Yeah, another 30.
You know what I'm saying? 30. It's like when you need to be, you're a real animal, bro. And the 30 points or the 35 or whatever it was, but also like that last stretch when he scored like what 14 straight points or something like that. Right. I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. That man, these playoffs have been really crazy. Devin Booker has been going nuts over there.
Going crazy.
I think he had like two straight.
It's really dope. Games? Yeah, it's really dope to have a person like KD as like a diversion. It's like,
bro, I'm looking at Devin Booker dropping 47, and I'm like, is KD still on this team?
Like, better yet, it's kind of like it shows you his arsenal because now teams can't double team. Everybody has to be honest. Yeah, and yo, bro, like, good luck. Like, try your best.
I'm sure he's gonna have himself some 40-point games.
Yeah, can't play no zone. They
still got Chris Paul over there. I was watching one game. Chris Paul, I think he had 20 points in this game, and I'm looking at him like, you still kind of got to worry about him. Not really, but like he's a guy that's gonna knock down big shots. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, 100%. If all things click, and it's like it's a very dangerous team, but at the same time, too, you know, their depth is crazy lacking. Yeah, they only go six. They only play 6 deep.
I feel like that's by design. Like,
it's not necessarily by design. Like, you gonna do anything that you have to do to get KD. So, you know, you made the trade, but at the same time, if you the Suns, this offseason is critical to like shoring up that roster to make sure you're really like a contender for all the remaining
KD,
years.
They
gave him Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, like real like those are gonna be real.
Yeah, but I'm looking at their bench. They got Okogie still there. I don't know if he's coming off the bench.
Yeah, but like again, like in terms of how deep they gonna play, they like even Okogie and same thing with what's his other name? Torrey Craig. Exactly. Like players like them, like they'll play in the game and they'll be like a body, but they're not necessarily like down the stretch.
Yeah.
They're not really doing anything.
Down the stretch, you don't play bench players anyway. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're the Celtics.
I mean, Torrey Craig is a starting player. Torrey Craig starts. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah,
so
yeah,
and
yeah,
he's you're like, and if for instance, like in the last series, right? He would do relatively well when Kawhi was on the floor because now, like as a team, like you gotta like focus on other shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. I think the Suns too were a little bit exposed when actually the Clippers because I think the Clippers could have beat them without Paul George if they had a healthy Kawhi. And that again, that's something due to and at that point it's because Clippers depth, like not because they start in 5 is better. But
it's like the injuries.
They can run it.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Clippers, man.
And you know what I was saying to you yesterday? They need to blow that shit up.
It's kind of unfortunate.
They need to blow that shit up.
I wouldn't go that far with the Clippers because, I mean, injuries is something you can't help. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear what you're saying, but I feel like that's still a good team. You know what I mean?
But I'm off we're 0 for 3 and not because of a lack of talent. It's literally 0 for 3 because y'all can't get right. So am I supposed to just be like 4th year? This is the year y'all healthy. I know it. Like I know y'all gonna be healthy. It's like, yo, y'all proving me wrong.
Nah, facts.
Every time.
Yeah.
And now I think we really banking on projections and like the cachet of these players and what they've proven to do when they are healthy. Yeah. But it's kind of like this league don't even operate on that. Like shit changes in an instant. Like James Harden started getting these injuries and now he's, you know what I'm saying? Like in an instant, players could just be a different type of person. Yeah. And if they got that type of IQ, they can evolve into another role. But I don't know. I don't see it for.
Yeah, I hear that. But I feel so if we look ahead in some of this, is there any series that are still like going on that need to be decided? I feel like
I think everything is Kings and Warriors.
Which is actually tonight. Probably the most intriguing.
That's tonight, but Warriors series. Overtook that, unfortunately, man. And
3-2. Oh, I think the Lakers and the Grizzlies also.
Yeah, that's 3-2 as well too. Yeah. So
wait, Warriors right now are up 3-2. Yeah, it might be over. It might be over.
Seems like it.
Yeah, Kings. They should have. Kings. You couldn't afford to lose that
It's
one
all
at
good,
home.
man. It's still, it's still a good year for y'all, but that shit sucks when
Yeah,
you up
but
2-0 and
yeah,
it's kind of
exactly.
like, but
Yeah,
you
exactly.
got some stain, but it would have been really, really
I guess
clutch for
this
y'all
is
to do
where
that.
they lack the experience. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
Because these games are close. It's not like they getting blown
all
out.
these games are going down to the wire.
It's not like they getting blown out.
But I feel like, yeah, if, I think the Warriors might come out of that one. What about the Lakers Grizzlies? Who do you think comes out of that one?
I mean, I got the Lakers, but
Lakers are up 3-2.
Yeah,
yeah,
we up 3-2, but we're not playing to the best of our abilities.
That's what I'm
so
saying. Like I'm looking at that. What game 6 that was, or no, game 5 that was.
Man,
LeBron got like what? Like
15.
LeBron was just not having a good
15
game.
points. Yeah,
and I'm
getting older, man.
And he's one of those guys. That's crazy because like you start to see that it's like some games, like most of the time, like 70% of the time, you're like LeBron's gonna be LeBron still, but then you have a game like game 5 where he looks just like pedestrian or human,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AD though. I feel like AD has been balling.
Well, has he?
You don't feel that way?
I mean, last
30
game,
and 19 last game.
Yeah, exactly. Last game, sure. I have nothing to say about last game, but the previous games when we were winning, it's kind of like that's the thing. We're winning, so you're lucky it goes under the radar. You were kind of doing nothing for what we wanted you to do, giving us like 18 back to back. Like, what the hell?
I hear that, but that's in games where you're also getting 20 plus from Rui. You're also getting 20 from Austin Reeves. Like you don't necessarily.
But again, but it's
getting 30 from LeBron.
It's not necessarily even a need. It's not like he's seeing in the game that everybody's balling. Let me just. That's not what's happening.
This is a Rui game.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. That's not the case. So like,
but I mean, you got Jaren Jackson, the defensive player of the year.
This is what I'm saying though. Like Anthony Davis, that 31-19. Like however, bro, you have to do that all the time. Playoffs, like. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Giannis, I already knew, even though they lost the game, I already knew how Giannis was gonna come. I'm like, bro, he's gonna have at least 30 and 15. Like that's just, and not no betting shit on it. I'm like, yo, bro, and what do you have? He had 38 and 20. Like I'm like, yeah, bro, like when the moment comes, like that type of shit shouldn't be like, oh, bro, I hope you ball. Like, bro, do what you're supposed to do. And I'm not saying that like, bro, like these niggas are ballers, like. Easier said than done. I already know you got all these types of injuries, shit like that. But at the end of the day, at this point, like where the Lakers are, you're supposed to be the number one. LeBron is like, even though he had the 15 and that's still like below par, what you did last game, keep doing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that Knicks Heat series. I think that's gonna be dope. Shout out to the Knicks. They've been balling.
It'd be nice to see some new face in the Eastern Conference. I wouldn't be mad if the Heat win.
Yeah.
Because of Jimmy solely. Yeah. I don't really care for anybody else on that team.
Yeah.
But Knicks in the Eastern Conference, that would be a fun watch.
Who do you think thus far is the most valuable player in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs?
Right now, to their team, I'm gonna say Jalen Brunson.
That's kind of who I was thinking.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a toss up between Jalen Brunson and Jimmy Butler right now. You know
actually, I could say Jimmy too.
Yeah,
it's kind of equal.
Sure. It's funny that you said that because I swear I thought because of how the conversation's gone thus far, I thought you were gonna say Jimmy Butler and then I was gonna go with the Jalen Brunson. They're both JB initials. 100%. That's crazy. But both of those guys have been going off. Shout out to Jalen Brunson, man. He's been killing. And I've never really been a huge Jalen Brunson guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I've watched much of him.
I think
outside of this year.
I mean, I think to be real though, like people that haven't really been like on it and watching these players, of recent years, come out of their schools and prospects. I think a lot of people were in your boat. Like I seen what they're doing in the Mavericks last year. To be honest, when they were in the playoffs, that's kind of when I was like raising my eyebrow, like, yo, like. With Jalen Brunson going kind of crazy. Like, when they got to the Western Conference last year, I was like, he going kind of crazy. I knew he was a good player, but I ain't going to hold you. Like, when the Knicks went ahead and they got him in the offseason, I wasn't thinking he was the acquisition that he's turning out to be. And now I'm like, wow, that was like, yo, well done. Well done. Yeah. You got a cornerstone piece to your franchise.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
the off free agency.
Off free
That's
agency.
very lit. And it seems like you actually got him for the low.
That's what I was
got
going
him
to
for the
say.
low.
They got him for good value because he wasn't.
He didn't do this
He
season.
wasn't
He
doing
hadn't
this
had this
before,
season.
You know what I'm
last year.
saying? He wasn't doing this before.
Nah, it's really lit to
So
see.
yeah, he's
So
really a
we good.
problem like that. And it's crazy because like I was big on the Cavaliers coming into the year, not necessarily going into the playoffs, but coming into the year, I was like, oh, they got a lot of pieces, and then because he like they got pretty good depth as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
But even like even with that, when the way they started off the season was pretty
100%.
good. You know what I'm saying? They started off, I think they probably had the best record in the East for a while, and then you know what I'm saying, things started to flatten out. But watching them in the playoffs, I'm like, nah, this team is
need a vet.
Yeah, like they lack something.
Young guys.
You know what I'm saying? Like they lack something. I don't know what it is, but they lack something. Yeah, maybe it is like everybody's young. I mean, bro, Evan Mobley is 21 years old.
Yeah, no,
that's crazy. Team. How long has he been in the league?
I don't think too long. I think
like I thought he'd been. I thought it was like his third year or something like that. I mean, I even thought it was like more than that because like that combination of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. I feel like I've been hearing about that for a minute.
Oh no, you know this is the first year that they.
No, they were together last year. They were definitely together last year. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen.
Jared Allen, he left the Nets last.
Jared Allen played for the Nets.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
He was in Cleveland last year.
I'm
sure of that.
He might have but this could very well be his first full season though. Yeah,
because he was an All-Star last year, wasn't he?
I'm not saying year, but last no. Year. Yeah, I'm not saying no.
I remember the reason I remember is because I remember
a majority of his career has been on the Nets. That's what I'm saying. The majority.
How
of his
long has he
been
in
on
the
the
league?
Nets.
I thought
Jared Allen's been in the league for like 34 years.
That's crazy.
He's been longer than Evan.
Yeah. But I remember there was like a meme going around because Jared Allen, like people was clowning how he dressed at the All-Star.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but he was in Cleveland, or he was a Cavalier.
I don't know, bro.
That time. I'm gonna just look it up because I feel like, I just gotta look it up for my own sanity right now. But the Cavaliers, though, they were they were kind of underwhelming in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Yeah, he was on he got to Cleveland in 2001, which was
21. Okay, 20. Okay.
Or I said 2021.
Okay.
And so he's been in the league since 2017, which I didn't realize. Yeah. All right, cool.
Okay.
But Evan Mobley being 21 years old kind of threw me for a loop because I didn't realize he was that young. But just to your point, they are a young squad. So maybe that's what happened in the playoffs. But I look at the Kings and I'm like, okay, well, they're at least doing something, making some kind of noise, and I guess setting some kind of standard, I guess, for themselves as far as like postseason.
Well, the Kings is just deeper because it's been such a long time since actually even the franchise has been like in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about the Cavs, they had some type of expectation. So that's I think that's the main difference. Like the Cavs were expected to do a little bit something, not to be fucking finals, but they were like dark horse type of team. But they proved that to be like not even that.
A little early for that.
Yeah, so it ain't nothing to beat themselves up too crazy over. This is like the first year you had this real nucleus, together.
First year with
Donovan,
squad,
and you know what I'm saying. So it's promising. So, just gotta just build and keep tweaking.
I forgot to ask, who's your MVP thus far in the Western Conference playoffs?
Go with Devin Booker.
Devin Booker.
Yeah, that boy just going crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's been killing over there. It has been Devin Booker. Yeah, I mean, as far as consistency goes, I want to say
I can't even say that joints like I don't think about the Kings and the fucking Warriors because it's like it's like
no one's really taken over. De'Aaron Fox has been very tough.
I mean, he's great.
De'Aaron Fox has been.
It's just competitive. The player, I'm just like, even when I say Devin Booker, I'm like, yo, bro, like we're just getting through.
Yeah,
at this point, it's like, yo, who's just making light work? And
it's because of him. It's he's going crazy.
I'm trying to think fucking 37. 36, 37.
Yeah,
in this first
and
series,
we look at what's it called? The Nuggets, and it's like the team is just kind of killing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Anybody
20
can
points from, are you getting 25 from Michael Porter one night? You getting,
get
you know what I'm saying,
Murray,
35 from
fucking
Jamal
getting
Murray one
40
night.
from Jokic
Yeah.
one night. Like,
Yeah.
it's
So
crazy.
everybody's kind of killing over there. I mean, how seriously do you think the Nuggets are? How serious do you think the Nuggets are in the West?
We'll get a gauge this series.
This series?
I'll know.
Who
for
would they
sure.
get?
I don't know. I don't know how.
Who would they
serious
get
to take them.
next?
I think they get
The winner of the Nuggets and the, I mean,
think
the
it's
Kings
us.
and the Warriors, or Lakers and Grizzlies.
Yeah, I think it might be us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh well, yeah, that'll definitely be a test.
I
You know what
think
I'm
so.
saying?
I think it will. Be.
But I think the Nuggets could beat the Lakers.
No.
Actually,
I
I
mean,
think the Nuggets
I think they
are better than the Lakers.
yeah. I mean, I think they could too. And on paper, I feel it, but at the same time, too, Nuggets are still unproven.
They're unproven, and I feel like you just
Still.
can never count out LeBron. Like
Just
that's
still,
kind of why I'm
yeah.
looking at the Grizzlies. Like, yeah, I don't know if they make it out of this series, and I thought they were gonna get that gentleman sweep. Like,
Right.
I didn't think they were gonna. I didn't think they were gonna win 2 games, especially after Ja Morant went down. And it's crazy because they won the game without him. But I think we had talked about how
They do well.
they're a
now.
better team sometimes without him.
Right.
So yeah, that's cool. But yeah, I think that's playoff talk right there, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a quick second and then get into Snowfall, man. Like, I'm excited to kind of
great ass series.
dig into that, and then also kind of get your perspective on, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's been a lot of chatter as far as like how people feel about the finale, but I kind of want to talk about the finale, but also like the series as a whole. But we'll do that when we get back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I was early. And we're back. So Snowfall on
this
FX.
came to a closure.
Well, first of all, where do you rank that as far as like shows overall? Like, do you what echelon or tier do you put it? Like, what other shows do you put it amongst? Like The Sopranos, The Wire. I hear that comparison to The Wire a lot, but I feel like it's just because of the content of the show. But like Mad Men, Breaking Bad, what? And I don't mean to answer for you, but like, you know what I'm saying? Right. What echelon of shows do you put that under? Like one of the best shows of all time type vibes, or just like it was good for the moment?
Great show. I'm gonna let it marinate still.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say it isn't, but I think recency bias is always like, you know, a real thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm just fresh off of it, and I really, 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 really fucked with it. So I'll see, but off top, I thought it was a great series, bro.
Yeah.
Thought it was a great series. Definitely some of the greater television that I've watched in recent months. Not to say I haven't been watching dope shit. Yeah. Definitely been watching dope shit, but this is like, you know, something that we have said. Really look forward to like the next week episode.
Always
like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Week.
Exactly.
Especially this season, bro. Like this season really had me on some. After every episode went off, I'm just kind of sitting there staring at the TV for like an extra 10 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just also like, fuck, I don't even know what's going to happen next, or like, how did that just go down? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally I haven't been stuck like that, just like looking at a blank TV screen for a long time.
So
you know
to be able to have like the suspense renewed like that throughout the season, that was super dope. And I think what was also really dope, like as it came to a closure, is you see the development and the whole arcs of like all the characters from the beginning to the end, and you're like, yo, like it's really dope. Like they all had their own storylines, and even though like Franklin is the main character of the series, you do get a slice of like all the other stories that are involved, and see how they change over time and evolve over time, like due to like, you know, what's happening within the show. And then that leads
sometimes it's like because of their relationship to Franklin, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
100%.
like a lot of, you're seeing how they develop because of either how Franklin treats them, or how just, you know, whether they're trying to separate themselves from him or whatever the fuck it is, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like for me, I feel like it's one of those, maybe it is a recency bias thing, but I think it's one of the, you know, most well put together shows, I think. You know what I mean? And yeah, I will put it up there with like, I mean, I will put it up with, I would put it up there with something like The Sopranos, in the sense of um how the story kind of, like strings you along. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some, every season the story don't really have to be congruent. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
season to season. But because of the nature of what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of speaking on the rise of the crack epidemic, and it's like one of those period pieces. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So the story kind of really, I feel like the story kind of ties together so well from season to season. You know what I mean? So I really like how they did that, and especially in a situation where the showrunner passed in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? I think he died after what, John Singleton. I think he died in like season 2 or after season 2 went off or something like that.
Right.
Something like that. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of early-ish on when that happened, but still, like the story, like it was able to kind of keep some congruency, and then that final season, man, was some of the most like compelling television
100%.
I've seen in a long time.
100%. You know, sometimes it's like how do I say? Sometimes it doesn't align like with what's the most popular television versus like, I guess, like quality shit.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'd be someone that like even when Snowfall was actually airing, I didn't actually tune in until season 4 was airing, like in real time. And then that's when I tuned in. And then usually when people like hype shit, I'm like, you know, hype doesn't necessarily equate something that's good to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
sometimes
I don't.
hype turns me off. You know what I'm saying? Like if something's getting too hyped up, I'm like, I'm not going.
Something that's hyped to just make me delay it. It has nothing like I won't be off so much. This is probably some shit. It's just kind of like I'll let it chill, and then if I do feel like I want to watch
if
it,
I
after
find my way back to it, yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
but you know, shout out to people too that sometimes like emphasize, yo, watch, because you say that enough times, I'll be like, all right.
yeah.
There's going to be one time where I'm like, instead of my go-to shit, I could put this shit on.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
yeah.
Let me see. You know, and that was one of them shows where, similar to like when I got hip to Game of Thrones, I watched it, and then I was like, damn, like I got. Is there a next episode? And I'm like, oh, bet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me go run that. And then finally, like you get to like up to date with the season, but you're like, let me go run back and watch the whole. Like, how do we get here? And then within that week, I'll be like, I'm good.
Yeah, you're all
I know it's up. Yeah,
Yeah.
play it. Yeah,
Nah,
so
man,
that's just crazy.
I definitely have been feeling like I want to go back and watch the whole series. But let's talk about the season finale or the series finale,
right?
Because there's a lot of takes on, you know what I'm saying, like what transpired and everything like that, how it went down, and the ending that Franklin ultimately got. And I want to get like your take as far as how the show ended. Like, what did you feel about how the show ended, and did you fuck with the ending? And just, you know, how did you feel about how the show ended?
I feel like, you know, the whole show was, you know, despite all the ups and downs that Franklin faced, it was kind of like a upward trajectory throughout most of it, right? And then even when it started, like I guess dwindling, all the shit was falling down. The motive for Franklin was still trying to advance himself, right? And he would say, like, it's for my family, it's for about this, that, and the third. But you kind of do get the feeling when this shit was ending, it's kind of like you gotta take your L, bro. Like, there's like your karma, everybody had shit, you know what I'm saying? Whatever happened to them, whether they deserved it or whatever, but like it was kind of like, I don't want to say scotch free. You took mad L's, but you became so hardened to them that you were like on some fuck it. Like the L's weighed way more heavier on those around you than it did for you. So you would still be off some, yo, bro, what are y'all talking about? The mission, niggas are like, bro, like what the fuck? My life like is ruined. Like I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. Like everybody in the show had, outside of Franklin, has these reflection periods. Franklin does not have it until he trips on acid. And you see how that even goes for himself. he's not trying to be pensive or think about the shit he's done.
Yeah.
Where everybody else in the show, you do see them have their moments where it's like, I have to sit with my shit. Frank not doing that. So when it finally comes down to the end and we see, you know, how he kind of like becomes his father and is an alcoholic and is just shacked up in his crib for all these years just to himself, like a recluse, you like, damn, bro, it's kind of like, in a weird, crazy way, you know, when you say shit full circle, it's not even on some, I didn't want it to end like this for Frank. But at the same time, too, I can see exactly how it ends
exactly
like this for
there.
him.
Yeah,
I see exactly how it ends like this. And it's kind of just like a tall tale sign of somebody that's fails to, you know what I'm saying, see outside of themselves or take accountability in terms of like why they're in the situation they're in, or why it is like why you have to go through the shit that you have to do, and then feel some type of way when nobody is there for you.
Yeah,
that's really the like close the casket, nail in the coffin. Like, bro, like you really shocked that everybody now looking at you like the junkie. Like like it flips. The whole shit flips.
Yeah, it was like
how money, you asking Leon for $3 million? Like, you asked him how much bread he has, and said, "Give me that."
And then started making plans with it, like he is, like you knew he was gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
nigga was like, "Okay, this is what we gonna do." It's like, nigga, like
detached from buddy. Yeah, so it's like, I feel like the ending, and then like how, you know, we were speaking on it prior to, I think that's not necessarily even an easy thing to do with this show. Especially if the show is like highly touted and everybody fucking loves the show. And to be honest, it's not like it's throughout everybody's like, yo, it should end this season. I'm sure everybody, like, if it was not said this was the final season,
2 more seasons,
we would have
3 more seasons.
We'll be like, yo, as long as y'all go with the show, we'll tell y'all when this shit's running out. But nobody felt that way.
But also, like, I hear people say, like, people who have made some of like the greatest shows, like, you don't want the audience to dictate like when it's going to be over, because then they're going to, by the time it's like they're going to be tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Because we always want more. You want to leave them wanting more.
And I feel like, I feel like shows that kind of get to that point, they kind of like, the further you go, it's kind of like a lot of people might drop off, and now you're at a niche. And like it's people, like Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that shit is on 20th season. But you know who's watching Grey's Anatomy? Folks that love Grey's Anatomy. Like, and that's enough. Like, like, you know what
I'm saying? Maybe in the first couple seasons they had people who were like, let me just see what this is about.
Right.
Had people like, oh, like I like this, and then the people that drop off are the ones that are like, okay, like it's getting a little ridiculous.
Even like Degrassi and like in another like you just keep on updating, reimagining the shit.
The Simpsons and fucking Family Guy. Like, if you want to get cartoons that South Park that've been on for like 40 years, right? Like that,
so I feel like they did that shit really, with taste. You know what I'm saying? Did that shit really well, sure, like I'm not gonna nitpick. I think it was a good way to end the series, and also, you know what I'm saying, kind of give room for, I think we were talking about there's a spinoff with Wanda, shit like that. So I can I'm already kind of seeing like, like how that shit look for Leon, and moving forward.
That's been stamped, like that's happening for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
She spoke on it.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, she spoke on it. Yeah.
So that's cool. But my to me, that show couldn't have ended in any other way than how it ended. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like that season was boiling, like he was kind of like making that bed all season. You know what I mean? And the way he was kind of just like going about his business, the way that he was kind of treating people, and the way that he was literally putting himself and his wants first. And like you kind of see it just like play out all season long. But I remember kind of sitting there thinking in that finale, I'm like, there's a switch that flipped for me in my own head where I'm like rooting for him the whole time. Right. And then I'm like, wait, this nigga's actually tripping. You know what I'm saying? I think it was the moment when he was talking to Leon and Leon was like, why do you think your mom did that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was like, oh no, she just went crazy. But then his mind, like, he didn't even really
Right.
care that his mom was locked
He
up for
did
the
not
rest of
even
her
want
life.
it. Yeah.
He didn't even really care about
Right,
that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
right.
one thing to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because she gave him the ultimatum the episode before, like, you know, I'll help you with this last thing, but I'll never speak to you again. Are you okay with that? He was like, yeah.
Yep.
And that's one thing, because you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That was deep for
to
him.
me,
if you know the
I could
relationship.
think, to me, I'm thinking like, I mean, there's been times when my mom has kind of like threatened me like that. If we're mad at each other, she'll say something like that, and I'm like, you know, whatever, and then you're gonna get over it, and then we're gonna talk again. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm thinking of that, like, he might say that, he might stand on that, but you know, if she's alive at some point, he's gonna reach out to her, he's gonna talk to her. Like, that's not that big of a deal. But when it boils down to, okay, like, now she's actually locked up, like, it's in the state's hands, and he's kind of like, he don't even really care about that. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy though, because like even in that moment though, like I don't even view it like as a bluff. I know that's deep in that moment, because I think like even like if we were to even do a rewatch, I think something that would be really like emphasized throughout is like, yo, a lot of this shit Franklin like did for his mom initially. Like a lot of this shit is like, yo, it's me and sis, like it's just us two. And that's another thing why I think how they did the last episode really like it's dope. Even though you don't like to see it, it's dope because it's like it shows you now the opposite. It shows like, all right, now you got everything, or like you did everything that you wanted to, but now the relationship's on the other side of the fence with like a whole lot of shit. And it kind of like, just to see that contrast, like in that moment when she says that, it's kind of like, and then when she speaks to Leon too, it's like, yo, he's gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? He another person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like, when in last episode you realize like, oh, he's been another person this whole season. Even the last might have been a chain, like a chain, like inching, but it wasn't there. It was still,
and that's
and before he got robbed of his bread, he did like, that was really the tweak. Like, fuck it. It's, I don't even care about nothing anymore. Before then, he's literally fighting his demons last season. I'm fighting my shit. Like, I'm kind of conscious of the shit I've done, but like, fuck yeah, I had to do it. Like, I had to justify it. Now it's kind of like, bro, I don't give a fuck.
Even in the sense of like him trying to get out, you know what I'm saying? It's like that is kind of also how you see where he is kind of, he realizes what he's done, but he's like, okay, like, let me kind of not reverse that or undo that, but let me just kind of go in a different way. Like, let me take my things and go, right? Where him being robbed, it kind of like forced him back in, but then made him go like way deeper. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when he kills that dude that helped him open the safe, like a pointless murder like that is kind of just, it kind of shows you. And again, even in that moment, I wasn't like, this nigga lost it.
But people said too, like, again, like, this is Frank thinking, still just always think about the play. Like, he made him take that bread so he looked like a robber. So like, you shoot him in the back. I'm like, wow, yeah. That's exactly why you make him take the bread.
I hear that.
And I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about, but I was like, I see that. Like, you know, like that would be on brand for Franklin just being like, bro,
I don't know.
no.
I feel like that's the simplest way to put it. Because the nigga was like, bro, like, I would like, let me just walk out of here. I got kids. Like, he was kind of like pleading to let him go. He won't say nothing.
At that point, Franklin isn't off some, it's all over, I'm still trying to get my bread. I'm not trying to get locked up in the process though. Like, he didn't get locked. Like, you know, like, that's another thing too I find is like, yo, it's very interesting. Like, that's not your fate. You gonna be alive. Yeah. It's like, but you just like lost your soul in this shit. It's just, it's gone. Yeah. And I think that's really telling too. It's like, yeah, bro, there was no, the repercussion was like, your actions, live with it. Like, you can just live with it.
Yeah. Last question I'll ask is, as far as characters go, where do you feel like Franklin Saint like ranks amongst like some of the greatest characters? Who are some of the greatest characters to you as far as like television goes?
Off top, Omar off the wire. Yeah, that's a very like he played that role. Shout out Michael K. Williams.
Yeah.
Did
he pass?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
2, 3 years ago.
Yeah, so I remember.
Tony Soprano. See, he passed too. Shout out, yo, kind of crazy. Kind of crazy.
My favorite character on time.
Yeah, might be. Yeah. Shout out, fucking Steve Buscemi, Nookie Thompson, Boardwalk Empire. That is. That's probably that is my favorite
Steve
show of all
Buscemi
time.
is an interesting motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. So yeah, these are characters. Who else? Fucking damn. I forgot.
Who you think about Cuz from Breaking Bad?
Yo, yes, I was not, but
Walter White.
100%.
You thinking about Cuz from Mad
These are
Men?
another characters. Yo, Don Draper.
Don Draper,
Don
yeah.
Draper, like that. This I'm telling you, like Franklin Saint, definitely a character. Sometimes too, like I also want to make mention. Sometimes you don't even have to be a main character to really be like a character. Like
Yeah,
shout out Uncle,
Yeah.
Uncle Junior. Like
Yeah.
that's a real live. Like I'm like, yeah, bro, you really left your mark on the screen. Like that's like a real character. I always gonna know Uncle Junior. Like again,
Nah,
like it's
talking
quotables,
about-
right? Like learn how to squabble,
Yeah,
nigga.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
bro, that's a gold. Like
that episode when I said I sat and like watched the TV for 10 minutes, just like kind of in shock. That episode when he
when he
died,
passed, okay.
I was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I don't know why I didn't see that coming.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like, not to say that I should have saw it coming, but like, because, you know, sometimes in these shows, deaths don't like surprise. Like every time you kind of see somebody's death written on the wall.
100%,
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, there's a lot of killings in The Sopranos, and I felt like every single one of them I saw like written on the wall. Whereas even in Snowfall, there's a lot of killings in that, and I feel like
even
every
with
single
Steve
one,
Buscemi's character, and even with the
Yeah.
cousin, like
yeah,
you knew
You saw
it
the writing
had
on the
to
wall, it had
happen.
to
Like
happen,
you're
you
like,
know what I'm
damn,
saying?
like yeah.
But fucking in Snowfall, Junior, yeah, that shit was crazy. And then that even goes back to kind of the whole when I'm looking at
And that shit had
Snowfall
to
as a
happen.
whole.
He had to pass until we realized go back in the show. Like, damn, this was gonna happen since the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
You knew talk about
I'm looking
Jamaica
at-
and shit. Like, I
Bruh.
like that
Oh,
shit's
so the
crazy.
beginning of the episode,
Like,
yeah.
it's so crazy. Like,
It's funny because I'm looking at again the trajectory of Franklin Saint, and I'm looking at so the man ends up like homeless in the end, or like, you know, your typical homeless guy, I guess. And I'm looking at like his family structure, and I'm like, damn, it's gone. His mom is in jail, and his uncle, like his kid, is dead, and all of this is because of the empire that he has built. You know what I'm saying?
Why like just ran away
Why-
from him?
yeah, you
got
know what
his
I'm saying?
kid,
And it's
gone,
crazy to think
don't know
about
where they
how
at.
like, you know, even kind of how he was saying it, like when she was like, she called him to like make him feel, he was like, no, like I want to see him. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and I'm thinking how sometimes that is the case where the shorty decides like, nah, it's not in the best interest of the kid for you to even be around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's kind of interesting. And you know, it's interesting because you see, I mean, we see homeless people all over the country, all over the world, even. You know what I'm saying? And you never really understand how they got to that point. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all of them were Franklin Saints in their previous life, but you never know like who they were, what they were doing, and how they got to that point. Like you really never know, because you look at how Franklin ended in that last episode. You cannot look at that dude and be like, 4 years ago, this nigga was like the guy around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of my folks, tell me is like, yo, you much closer to that shit than you think. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Franklin was literally up 100 M's, and in 5 years time, like homeless. But and even though this is a fictional show, there is something
There's
to even
some
pull.
truth to it.
There is
Yeah,
something
yeah.
to pull away from. It's like, yo, bro, tables can turn for better or for worse. Like literally just like that. And it's not like, oh, how did we get here? No, it's kind of like just add it up. It's the sum of your actions, and you're not like, you can't be surprised. Like wherever you at, you can't be like, well, how did this happen? It's gonna be evident how the fuck this shit happened.
Nah, facts. But yeah, I think for me, Franklin Saint, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna rank him like 1, 2, 3, but definitely up there with some
character,
of
the for sure.
Up there with some of the most like, I mean, just also like culturally iconic characters.
I mean, if we're gonna say that, then I move them up a little bit more, because in this day and age with social media and shit like that, these other shows that we're kind of mentioning weren't in that.
They weren't like culturally iconic,
you know. So
like, they were iconic to the people that watch those shows. But I'm sure you could just go on Twitter and say Franklin Saint, and people kind of know who you're talking about.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's I feel like that's a powerful name too.
100%.
Like Franklin Saint, that's a tough name. But yeah, man, I think that's gonna do it for today's episode.
Yes, sir.
lot of dope shit. Next week we got Marcus from Great Energy Group coming on.
You
That's
know,
gonna be tough.
Polo.
You know what I'm saying? So looking forward to that. Outside of that, weekend activities, you got anything interesting going on?
More of the same, you know, studying, bro. We
Yeah.
trying to get more bags. We
Trying to
need
level
more
up,
passive
man.
income. We trying to
Trying to
level
up.
the fuck up, bro.
Facts.
That's what we doing.
No,
This
same here. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel,
Do that.
you know what I'm
weekend.
saying?
You see the banner, man.
Where we YouTube, Instagram, you can follow us. Itsnation.com is me, Brooke Facil is him. What else we got? Yeah, man, just go subscribe early the morning show on YouTube. And outside of that, man, everybody have a good weekend.
See y'all
And
next
we'll
week,
see y'all
real
next
early.
week. Early.